honor your father and your mother. You walk around and say, hey, who are you? Who's your father? My father's Ivory T. Ellison. Yeah, my father. It didn't say honor him if he's perfect. You didn't honor him if you feel like it. Honor your father. Who's your father? They know by you carrying his name. I don't want to carry your name. That means I'm saying that I don't want you to be my father. And you sat there and you accept that. You know, Barack, if you was my brother, I'd beat the hell out of you. If my brother told me he accepted something like that from one of his children, he and I had to go in the front yard. We had to deal with this. If I told him, he'd jump on me. I think all three of my brothers. I think my daddy, 83 years old, will come and find me and beat the hell out of me. He'd take key, but come up and probably drop his keys on the floor and tell me, bend down and pick him up. When I've been out there, he'd take his cane and knock me across the head, knock me out and put his 45 in my face. March, let your son or your daughter treat you like that. Go straighten this out.
You need to have this app on your phone. If you're still in school or at a
Black family doing this. This to be applauded. Y'all, it's time for us to pray for the Obamas. Hopefully they'll find Christ. Hopefully they'll get some type of sense back into their heads. Because these people are on a one-way, like that old song from AC/DC, on the highway to hell. They're on the highway to hell. It is a train wreck and it's a tragedy. And the American people watching it in full time. This is something that you don't ever want to happen in your family. It sure feels good to know you're mine. Now we got it back like it used to be. I want you to always be a part of me. And no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Stop loving you, no matter what you do. Baby, this would be the last time that we fall in love again. Oh, and I just can't believe the love I'm in. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Can't stop loving you. Stop loving. Baby, I've been such a lucky girl. Almost let you slip right out of my world. And it's so nice just to hear you say, I can hear you say, that in my arms is where you want to stay. And no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want with you. I said I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. No matter what you do, baby, this could be the last time that we fall in love again. And I just can't believe the spell I'm in. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. I ain't gonna stop now. Stop loving you. Never gonna, never gonna stop loving. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I said I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. No matter what you don't want me to. Baby, this could be the last time that we fall in love again. And I just can't believe this love I'm in. And I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I say I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I say I'm never gonna stop, stop loving you. No matter what you do, never gonna stop, no, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I'm never gonna stop. FanDuel's dropping profit boost. Now that we have been through this before, and I'm tired. You know what I mean? Sick and tired of the same old thing over and over. And we're gonna have to do something about it right now. You're a runaway now. You're a runaway now. Hey, you're a runaway now. Woo! You're a runaway now. You think you're slick, you're playing with my feelings. You keep messing around, playing with my heart. example. But you know what? It's all coming full circle. You're seeing the grapes of wrath. You're seeing karma. You're seeing all the evil that these people have thrown at the world, and it's coming back to bite them. But the most important thing you're seeing, I think, that very soon, you're going to see why I've been calling Michelle Big Mike. And those children have figured out that Big Mike could not have brought them into the world. That might be the real story. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website. And on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts. We're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it. Make it number one. If you got my first three, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good. And it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Get merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentary. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.
Press office account on X. California Governor Gavin Newsom is stepping into the Democratic Party's leadership void by taking a page from President Trump's playbook and acting like him. Newsom has used his office's press office account on X to mimic Trump's over-the-top social media posts by posting in all caps and using vocabulary like low energy. The governor has also posted a number of memes mocking the president. And the governor is not only using this language online.
He's a failed president. Who else sends ICE same time having a conversation like this? Someone who's weak. Someone who's broken. Someone whose weakness is masquerading as strength.
On a substantive level, Newsom is seeking to challenge Trump and Republicans on their redistricting efforts in red states, pledging to fight fire with fire. The governor is pushing legislation that would set up a November 4th special election that would allow voters to weigh in on his congressional redistricting proposal. Newsom's aggressive approach comes as Democrats are still struggling to pick up the pieces from their widespread losses last cycle with no clear party leader. And it appears that Newsom is trying to fill that role. A Politico Citron Center Policy Lab poll released this week found that California Democrats favored Newsom over former Vice President Kamala Harris, who is also a California native. And while we have plenty of time until the 2028 presidential primary cycle, Newsom is clearly positioning himself as the loudest potential candidate in the room.
Today, on the Best Everett Ellison Show, we are going to finish our discussion on the immorality of civil rights leaders of the 1960s. Started on it yesterday, but didn't get a chance to finish it. So we're going to finish that up today. So we're going to talk about the immorality of the civil rights leaders of the 1960s. Today, on the Best Everett Ellison Show. All right, let's get this thing started. You know, yesterday, I started this talk on the myth that the civil rights leaders of the 1960s were moral. A lot of them are dead now. Some of them are still alive. But we had this myth in the black community. These guys were like the 12 disciples going around, you know, especially after King died. You know, Abernathy and Jesse Jackson, Andrew Young, and anybody that had been affiliated with King and had touched the hem of his garment, you know, was sanctified. As nothing further from the truth. And y'all, I just scratched the surface on this stuff about these guys. I mean, these dudes. It's like traveling with a pervert circus. You find the most extreme groups of malcontents that you can find and put them in a
and a circus together and just sent them on tour throughout the city. That's who these guys were. And I always ask the question, what are the odds that 5 or 6 of the greatest perverts in America will end up in one organization called the SELC? You might end up with one pervert. You might end up with one guy that's kind of crazy and outlandish and others keep him like, no, man, this was like, it was like the mafia of perverts. Just a bunch of sick jokers, man. So I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about it. I'm going to start in descending order with the least of them and go down to the ones that were really in charge. So, yeah, okay, so we start. Martin Luther King had a brother by the name of A.D. King. And A.D. would hang out with Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King was a star. A.D. was his little brother. A.D. was a preacher. Everybody in the family was a preacher that was a man because, you know, it was just the company business. So, sadly, A.D. died in 1969. Martin Luther King died in 68. A.D. died the year after. They said he drowned in the swimming pool. From what's been written about some of the things that A.D. did, you know, married with children, A.D. was kind of a wild dude. In David Garrow's book and in Taylor Branch's book, they talked about when Martin Luther King Jr. went to Sweden, Stockholm, to get the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, that's a big deal, man. You got the King of Sweden. He's there. You got an orchestra playing, and you got all the Nobel laureates there. I mean, it's like, it's swanky. You got to wear a tuxedo, and it's really, really a big deal. And so King brings his entourage there with him. And this is what they say. I wasn't there. This was 1964. I was 1 year old, so don't be trying to put this on me. I'm telling you about the guys King ran with and how all these guys were of the same feather. So they say, they said that after they gave King the Nobel Prize, well, you would think they'd go and have a nice dinner, go back to the restaurant, go back to the hotel. It's been a long day, man. You won the Nobel Prize, all these dignitaries around you, you're shaking hands, all that. Oh, no, not these brothers, not these Negroes. Oh, hell no, it's time to party. They say, now, this is so messed up. They say that a woman called Bayard Rustin, who of course was messed up his own self. We'll get into Bayard Rustin later. So Bayard Rustin was there in the hotel. And one of the people from the hotel, one of the people that didn't want to get King in no trouble, you just won the Nobel Prize, man. You don't want tabloids and all this kind of stuff involved in this. One of the people from the hotel called Bayard Rustin and said, Mr. Rustin, can you please get up there with Martin Luther King Jr. and his gang? Bayard said, what they doing? They said, A.D. King is he's naked, chasing a prostitute down the hallway, saying that she stole his money. Now, can you imagine hearing that? You got to wake up in the middle of the night, somebody tell you some crap like that. The A.D. is naked, running down the hallway, chasing a white prostitute, saying she got his money. Bayard Rustin got to go up there and straighten that up. And you say, okay, I think that's a harbinger. There's some bad stuff that's going to keep on happening down the way. These jokers have lost all impulse control problem. All impulse control. So Bayard go up there and straighten that out. And I don't know how AD found a white prostitute in Sweden. But, I guess there's a special skill set that all of them had about finding hoes when they went somewhere. So the night of the mountaintop speech, King went to the house and slept with her. And Ralph Abernathy says, and the wall came tumbling down. Again, I'm giving you my source. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I'm telling you what was written. So Ralph Abernathy says, they drive up, it's raining, to the Rain Motel that night. Dr. King sees AD's car. He said, hey, AD, he said, let's see what AD's doing. They go to AD's room. Ralph says, now, AD's married and got children. They said, well, AD was in the room with a white woman. That's what Ralph said. And was Martin Luther King Jr. alarmed? AD, what the hell are you doing in the hotel room with this woman ain't your wife? Nah. He rolled up in there and him and AD, I don't know. Anyway, man. So anyway, that was AD. AD was just like MLK. They were not alarmed at each other's habits and what each other did, and they didn't try to reel each other in. They were codependent, it seemed like. Then they protected each other. Well, then we get to John Lewis. Now, as far as immorality is concerned with John Lewis, King Congressman, John Lewis wasn't so much as immoral. John Lewis is just stupid. John Lewis is so stupid you kind of felt sorry for him. They said that when he was a little boy on his people's place that he used to preach to chickens. So John Lewis never really had good sense. So when he joined SNCC and joined the Freedom Riders, what John Lewis became was a crash test dummy. He was good to get his ass whooped. Now they tear him up. They got more pictures of John Lewis bleeding from the head than they probably got him standing up in Congress making speeches. That joker would take a ass whooping and I didn't understand it. But he would go up there and he'd brag about taking it. And I heard a commercial one time in South Carolina. He did one for a guy running for Congress. And he's bragging about how many times he got beat up. I got beat down in the head 27 times. I forget how many times he said, but he was like proud of getting beat up and beat across the head. So they had written, the Soviet Union had said they were going to use the black community as cannon fodder for their movement. You know, that means just put them out there like Hezbollah, their suicide bombers. Send them out there and let them get the hell beat out of them. While we sit up there and watch. They beat them down, we kill them, we put them all out there. They're expendable. Well, John Lewis was one of them. But they were just kind of amazed at the type of beat down John Lewis could get. He was like a Timex watch. He would take a licking and keep on ticking. And most people will take a whooping like that and say, I ain't even going to do this no more. John Lewis is almost like Joe Frazier. You just keep on coming. Wham, 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 wham. You keep on coming. So that's what John Lewis was good for. They would put John Lewis on the front line and say John Lewis can take punches. And John Lewis take like a hell of a lot of punches. And he just got famous for it. So when he ran for Congress, everybody saw how John Lewis had sacrificed his body for the civil rights movement, and they voted him in. I think they just kind of felt sorry for him. Because sometimes that happens. You know, you find a person that's been in the military, you see they took a whole lot of hits, and they run for office, and people will, say, well, you earned your right to be up in there because you took all these hits. Tammy Duckworth is a senator from the state of Illinois. She's a Democrat. And Tammy was a fighter pilot. And she had to have both her legs amputated from serving her country. And I salute her for it. And she's been elected, she got elected to Congress, elected to Senate. But some people, they earned that in battle. And I guess black people kind of saw Lewis the way the people in Illinois saw Tammy Duckworth. They said, you earned that in battle, man. You took the shots, boy. And he took them. So they're on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And they didn't have a court order to march. The court had told them not to march. And John Lewis was going to march anyway. And they had those horses and billy clubs and hard hats on there that told them about that march. And John Lewis thought the white boys was playing. They weren't playing. They still got pictures of that beating them down right now on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. They got John Lewis doing this right here. Just whooping it. So John Lewis go back with a concussion, bleeding from the head as always. And it just becomes, Bloody Sunday. John Lewis walked across the bridge again for the rest of his life, singing "We Shall Overcome." And I guess that song aggravates me, man. We shall overcome. What's overcome what? They got that beat jokers want them coming down in private jets, millionaires, billionaires, saying we shall overcome. I said, we overcome what? You jokers doing all right? What are we overcoming? If we need to overcome anything, it's these black Marxists in the Congress and their ignorance. Overcome the Democratic Party and their stupidity. And all these ignorant jokers ended up in the Democratic Party. John Lewis sure enough ran as the Democrat for Congress. Stayed there till he died. So John Lewis gets beat down at the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And I got a John Lewis story. So when I was running for Congress in 2000, I went up on Capitol Hill to confer with some Republican congressmen to see if I can get some support and raise some money, this and that and the other. So I'm up there with Congressman Jim DeMint, a few others. So I go to the house cafeteria to get something to eat with them, right? And so I got a name tag on because nobody knows who I am. I'm visiting. But the word that got around, I was up there running against Jim Clyburn, black Republican. So I'm sitting down to get something to eat. John Lewis and a group of black Democrats sat across the table, looking at me, rolling their eyes at me. Of course, I was younger then. You think I mean now? I just got through working in the penitentiary 2 years earlier. All right, fight? Where? Let's get down, bro. So I'm staring back. John Lewis said, John Lewis tied tongue because all them butt cuttings he had took, it kind of messed up his brain a bit, right? So he couldn't really talk. So John Lewis said, looked at my name tag. Did I see you over there, Ellison? Something there eating with the enemy. I ain't nothing but a traitor. And I said to John Lewis, look back, and I said, John, I ain't gonna hold that against you because I know you ain't at yourself from all them ass cuttings you took on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. John was, let me tell you that, I grabbed John Lewis and I hold him back. And I sat back and I started laughing because they had to grab him. Let me tell you that, Ellison. I fought for your freedom. You ain't fought for nobody's freedom, man. Sit down somewhere. Before you get some more brain damage, so I let that light up the left side of your brain. It's one of my favorite memories of all time. Anyway, y'all, I'm sorry.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual. Very funny, Limu.
I don't just randomly post reviews for something like overnight. A few years ago, Caldera Labs approached me. They asked if I would try their product. Let me try it out for 3 or 4 months, and then I'll let you know. After 3 months, I really felt a huge difference in my skin. My skin just felt really healthy and had an incredible glow to it. This product is legit.
Let me tell you though, Ellison. I had to grab him and hold him back to John. It was hilarious. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, he got so mad at me because I think I'm the first person to ever question, what he did on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and y'all said he got brain damage from it. But it was a classic moment. And it was one of the high points of my life to be able to jump on the civil rights crew, make them all. They all got mad at me. You talk to John Lewis like that, you know me. I was so mean. I just cussed them all out. Called them all kind of terrible things I can't say on YouTube. And I've been on the enemies list ever since. So, but that was 25 years ago. They ain't killed me yet. So, anyway, John Lewis. John Lewis got cancer and told everybody he was dying. And the last thing John Lewis did, to show you how reprobate his mind was, it was during the George Floyd riots, and they had painted the Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. Y'all seen it. It's like they painted a big old mural. And John Lewis, in his last act of defiance, they rolled him out of the hospital bed, put him in a suit, got him out the car, and he just stood there on Black Lives Matter Plaza. And then everybody take pictures of it. Black Lives Matter is an atheist, Marxist, anti-family, pro-LGBTQ group. So John Lewis revealed in his death who he really was. A freaking Marxist. So that's John Lewis. Oh, let's go to one of my favorite ones.
Give it up for Miss Linda Clifford. All right. Hey, what's happening? Yeah. All right, y'all. Hey, baby, where you going? Wait a minute. You can't leave now. See, now we've been through this before, and I'm tired, okay? I am sick and tired of the same old thing over and over. So I tell you what I want you to do. I want you to sit your